Hello, welcome back to the Shacklemore channel. I know it's been a while, it's been a couple of weeks, but today I'm going to be talking through all the equipment I used to film last Saturday. I know I was going to do a vlog, but I didn't end up getting it done. So what I'm going to be doing is talking through some of the shots I took, what equipment I used, and you might be thinking, where is your other microphone? Well, I bought these. They are the DJI mini mics that DJI make. This was a recommendation from Con. Because you know I'm big in the YouTube game, 20 subscribers, what's going on. Thank you to everyone who's subscribed, by the way, I very much appreciate it. But I got these on his recommendation. It's the 2 set, and I got these on Amazon for £99. They're on sale at the moment because DJI are bringing out a new set of mics, so I thought, well, I'm going to use these and we'll go from there. But before we start, it's always time to ask, what drink has Jack got today? I've not got a Dr. Pepper, I've not got a Vimto Energy, got my water bottle, but it does have Vimto Whey Isolate in because I'm training for an ultra marathon. So let's give it a swig. That's not bad. We'll keep that there in my Red Bull KTM bottle. Quite fitting for the video that we're filming today. So, what video was I filming last weekend? Well, I was filming at Cadwell Park for the No Limits racing series that is going on this year. The equipment I used was obviously these DJI mics, my iPhone, which I record all of these videos on, and a DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Now, I want to preface that the DJI Pocket 3 isn't mine. It's owned by a lad that I work with, also called Jack, funny enough, and he let me use it for the weekend so that I could use it filming the bikes, and it worked so perfectly because at a bike series you've got very tight enclosed spaces. I don't know if I've got any footage, but if I do then I'll include it. But you've got such enclosed paddock garages, essentially gazebos. You've not really got the space to have either the tripod or a big camera to film around the bikes, so the Pocket 3 worked perfectly. Now, I've got the intro to the main video that I'm filming. I actually posted that over on my Instagram, so if you want to go and check that out, it'll be on screen somewhere. But I mainly used my iPhone. For any trackside stuff, it was iPhone. When I had that attached to my tripod, which is a K&F concept tripod, I spent the whole time sat at the top of the mountain. So if you know Cadwell Park, you know the mountain. I sat there and got some good shots of them coming over, but I recorded in 60 frames per second and 120 frames per second because I knew that I was going to do slow-mo shots of the bikes going over, and 120 just works perfectly for that. So we'll go over some of the shots. I've got all the footage from my phone on my laptop. Now, there was too much to airdrop. I didn't have enough space on my laptop to get it all into the downloads, then put it in a folder. So what I had to do was connect my SSD to my phone and then transfer it like that. But it worked, and I've got it all on there. I'm going to talk about some of the shots that I took. We'll talk about this one. It's image 7085, and essentially this shows the size of the gazebos that people had. They're not very big, so the Pocket 3 worked perfectly to then get videos of bikes in a tight and enclosed space. I love this shot because I think at the end of the shot he goes out, yeah, here. This is him going out on track. Yeah, perfect. I filmed that on the iPhone. I was next to the gazebo for the racer I was actually filming for that weekend, but most of the time he wasn't at the gazebo. He was down in the pit lane because he was racing in the endurance category. Now, this was a problem because to get down to that pit lane, you had to have a wristband, and he didn't know that until I got there, and I didn't know that until I got there. So I didn't have a wristband to be able to go down actually into the pit lane. If he knew that, he would have sorted one for me so that I could have filmed them coming in and out of the pits for the actual endurance race. But it was a shame, but it's not the end of the world. We've still got footage, we've still got a video to make. I did 3 shots at the end, and all of these are for a reel that I made for him, which was a Saturday post-race report of essentially what happened and where they came and stuff like that. The racer I was filming for came 3rd. This is Jordan Poole. In this, we used the DJI mics. Now, this was perfect perfect because it meant that I could then get footage, and I just filmed it on my iPhone, like vertical, but it meant that I could then edit it up in the car on the way home. I used InShot for that video, so it was a pretty basic video, but it wasn't like, it was still something for him to put out. For him, I'm doing 5 vertical videos, and then obviously on top of that, I've got other races that I'm going to make footage for, based off the on-track footage that I have, if I'm able to. I'm not promising anyone anything, but I've said if I've got the footage, I will make you something. Moving over to the Osmo Pocket, you've got a lot more footage here. What I did for this was spending time using it to essentially film people's bikes in their paddock slash gazebo slash maintenance area, and then there's this cool bike here which has a full HD camera in the front. Now, from what I know, he's going to send me that footage, so the main video I'm planning to make about 5-ish minutes long, and from there I'm going to include all of the paddock stuff and on track and all of that, and essentially make it like a big movie of the day. I did check with the rider that gave me my ticket, because obviously I didn't have to pay for my ticket, that this was okay, and he said, yeah, no worries, like, you know, I'm glad to help out for the production company stuff. So it's nice to have people on board, but I do just want to jump in and ask you to subscribe if you find any of the videos interesting. I've got one on node trees, I've got one on free stuff you can use, the best and worst stuff. I've got all sorts of videos. I've also got why video editing is like riding a bike. And also, I do want to shout out Aaron from the Army Motorcycle Racing team. Nice cup of tea, by the way. I want to shout out Lewis. He's a good bloke. I didn't get any video of his bike. I feel bad for, because I stood and talked to him for a good 5-10 minutes. I want to shout out, I'm really sorry, I can't remember their names, but it was a son and his dad who were going racing, and they were absolutely lovely. I went and chatted to them for a good while before they had a race, and then afterwards before the podium. And thank you for the beer, by the way. If you're ever filming motorbike events, then just chat to people. They're always lovely. They're always happy to have a chat with you. There's a few other riders that I do want to shout out, but I can't remember your names. But mainly I want to shout out Jordan Poole. Sound bloke, gave me a ticket for the day, and I can't thank him enough for being behind me and supporting me for making this production company almost a reality. I am starting to charge from the next race that I do, but very cheap prices, so I know that I should charge more, but you know, I'm trying to get business on board, and these people it's grassroots racing. I'm not trying to charge them extortionate prices of like $1,000, $2,000 just for a day's filming when I'm filming on my iPhone and my mate's camera. Like, there's no point, do you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm not sure how long this video is going to be, but I do want to talk through some of the paddock video that I took. We have this one here. These are the Army Motorcycle Racing team bikes. The blokes from the Army Motorcycle Racing team were sound. You know, I enjoyed chatting to them. I tried to speak to as many of the riders as possible. A lot of them either didn't go to all the races or raced when they could, or I know that one bloke, I'm awful with names, so I couldn't tell you names or anything like that, but he was a lovely bloke, Scottish. He worked in offshore oil rigs, and when he was back, he just raced in the No Limits racing series. The racing at No Limits is brilliant. I think it's very overlooked by motorcycle fans. I think people would rather go and watch like BSB, the Isle of Man TT, Manx GP, World Superbike, MotoGP, but really the No Limits series is well worth checking out. If you're like a bike fan or a racing fan, then you know, £16 a ticket to go and watch a full day of motorcycle racing. I mean, I didn't leave till, I don't know, like just gone 7, and I got there at 9 in the morning. It was nearly 12 hours of racing. In fact, it was 10 hours of racing, and it was a brilliant day. You know, I dragged my mom and my girlfriend along because I needed a lift because I can't drive at the moment. Although saying that, I am about to send off my thing for my license back, so you know, who's going to be on the road? This guy. But yeah, I just want to talk through the equipment that I used. My iPhone, a brilliant shout. I was going to take my Canon 700D. I thought, what's the point when my iPhone shoots in 120 and 60 FPS, and really that's all I need to be using for motorbike videos. I know that I can color grade iPhone with the same node tree that I use for these videos, and it was a no-brainer really. I mean the camera I really wanted want is an FX30 or an FX3. I know the FX30 is cropped, but really so is the 700D. So it's not really about whether it's cropped or not, it's about how you use it and how you utilize that and work around the crop. You can make brilliant footage from the Canon, you can make brilliant footage from the iPhone, you can make brilliant footage from, even if I filmed it on the Pocket 3. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's about how you use your cameras. The other shots that I want to talk about is what I did use the Pocket 3 for was a pit lane camera. Now you might be thinking, what do you mean by a pit lane camera? Well, let me see if I can show you. That wasn't the greatest shot. So in this shot you can see I was stood the other side of the railings on the seat stand, and I was stood there because the pit lane was literally beneath me, and then you've got the mountain in the background to the left hand side, and from there you can see them come into the pit lane, and what I did was just kind of try and follow them up the pit lane. This isn't the best shot to show you, but you can see them coming up the pit lane. You know, you can just get a good pit entry shot. I know you've still got the metal fencing in front of them, especially at this height. On some shots it's better because I kind of stuck my arm out and pulled it back as they went. I know that there are some shots where I kind of, here we are, that was a better pit entry one. Do you see what I mean? You've got, there's a lot of ways to utilize that camera, and I think there's a lot more ways that I could have utilized that camera, but it was the first day I'd ever used it. I'd never used a Pocket 3 before. I really liked the way that it, you know, the way that it was compact enough to be able to take shots such as, go for this one. Yeah, there's me readjusting, but this was the tightest garage that I went into. Look how tight in you can get. With the Pocket 3, I had a hoodie on, so I was walking around and I had it in my hoodie pocket for most of the day. It was almost like I was able to whip it out and go, look, I'm taking these videos today, am I alright to get your bike? It's alright if not, all of this. And a lot of people would be like, yeah, no worries, ask me who I'm shooting for, why I was doing it, what the name of the production company is. I mean, I got a lot of follows and likes on Facebook from the people that were, I don't know, like interested and wanted to kind of know who I was and what I did and follow the journey in a way. It was a massively good day. I mean, you know, I'm so thankful for everyone who made it a very good day, and I know this is just a video of me thanking people for the day that I had, but I can't complain. It was probably the best day I've had filming, especially motorbikes. I've had a lot of people saying, yeah, absolutely, come down and shoot this and this. I was meant to be going to film a army motorcycle racing team track day, but it's on a day that I'm working and I don't have the days to take off, and it's too late to take it off, so I won't be able to get to it, but which is a shame. But I'm sure I'll get something in the future. Say if they do like a weekend event, if they're at Donington Park, it would be good to go and see them again. Yeah, I'm so thankful I went to Cadwell Park. I love Cadwell Park as a track. It's BSB Cadwell Park this weekend. I can't complain about it. And if you're interested in seeing the preview version of the video, then I will include it at the end of this video, and I will see you next weekend for another video. If you've got any ideas, let me know down in the comments. Like and subscribe, turn the bell icon on. I've got plenty of reels coming out, and I will see you next week for another video. Goodbye.